Good morning, everyday leaders. I am so excited. Here it is Saturday morning. It's the last day of November, and you guys know my campaign. Every time I get on live, I talk about my morning devotional that I've been doing since October 1st. But today, I did a little quip last night because I wanted to make sure you did not miss today. And today's live, kind of our preview podcast interview, right? Or campaigns that are going on across the world that I think you really need to understand. I am bringing a guest on here, and you can see him, Carlen Charleston, and I love this guy. I heard him in Indianapolis at the Amplify event, and it's a leadership event they have in Indianapolis. And so, Carlen, you came and talked about your own mission, your message for erasing race. And so, thank you for taking time out of your holiday to join us this weekend and really infuse leadership and inspiration across the country. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Really, thank you. It's just been a great opportunity to meet motivating people like you around the country. And I've got this mission to say, hey, let's bring these people all together. We can do amazing things.
We can do amazing things. Many people say, this whole race card, right? The whole race conversation. And it's so difficult because it's such a delicate conversation. And I think when we take it from a leadership perspective, we say, like I believe and what you believe, every single one of us has the capacity to make our world better. Every single one of us. And so your campaign, I really connected with your spirit and your message. And many people have been following my Airstream that I'm going to go around the country and infuse leadership. And as I saw you, you have this bus.
That's right.
You are campaigning across the country to talk about the issues and the policies and the things that we can do as citizens to bring our country together. So I want to know what motivated you to kind of say, I can do this too. I can add value. I can be a member of society that really can drive the conversation.
Well, it's the personal side of everything that happens, I think, in our lives. And it is when as you travel about and you begin to meet people, just like I met you and others, you realize that there is a lot of redeeming value in humanity and the relationships that we're able to build with each other. And that's what makes the difference. I think we get more pessimistic when we look around and see how bad everything is in our country and in the world. But when we begin to look at individuals and human beings and then invest in relationships and building into people, building value into other people, then that makes all the difference in the world. And so I initiated the Erase Races to say, well, let's start here. I'm going to travel around the country, and I've visited 97 of the 110 cities so far. So I've got 13 more to go. And that is just to make the initial contact, to begin building the relationships necessary for us to work together as a team, begin the planning. And then we'll do this again in a year, and we'll go back around and conduct some activities that bring about that engagement and that communication and that relationship that I think is so vital to making this happen.
It's so vital. Oh, there we go. A little bit of feedback.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that it doesn't go. So when you started this and you said, I'm going to hit every single city, right? I'm going to hit every single city. How did you even decide like that's what you were going to do first? Because many people with social media campaign would say, oh, I'm just going to do it on social media. But you knew the power in going out and making that human connection, right? That human inspiration. Because if people sit in a room and listen to you, they're like, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm with you. All right.
I'm ready to sign them up. Okay, I'll sign them up. Well, and I think it comes to, we have different experiences in life. And when we really look at the experiences that we've had in life, then if we really trace them back to their roots, it was always in the value of the relationships that were developed. I was a Marine for 20 years. And I remember when I first got in the Marine Corps, we had these duty stations. Oh, I would love to be stationed in this place, all these elegant places. What I realized through that evolution was that the best places weren't always the ideal places, the romantic places. It was the people. It was the people and the relationships that I developed at those duty stations. And I realized that that's true of everything that we do in life. You can go to a very bad place. If you've got great people and great relationships with the people, that place can become heaven for you. So I think that's what we've got to realize, and that's what Erase Race is designed to do. Let's create this paradise, and we do that by engaging the people that are around us, not shunning them, not separating ourselves from them, engaging them, meeting them, realizing that we are all the same people and we are all part of humanity. And when we develop those relationships, you'd be amazed at how we can change our environment.
Isn't that amazing?
That is.
Oops, a little bit of feedback. Doing something for your right intention, right? Believing that you can influence and inspire and change from where you are. And I think from a leadership lesson, many of us believe like, oh, I can't make a change. What I do doesn't matter. If I do that, nobody else is going to listen to me. And so how do you communicate with people like, yes, every one of us has the power to make a positive change?
Yes, and the key is, I think, modeling it. And we've got to model that. And that's why when we go into these communities and we grab like-minded people, I think we can be a model, and people can begin to develop a sense of hope that I am an individual, but I have the ability, I have power. And it is empowering, I think, to just invest in other people. That is, if I feel, Magnus, and I had this quote that I made about myself, I said, I believe that if I change me enough, I can change the world. And so I think that's what we have to do. We have to get people to realize that it starts with me. And if I can make that change happen, then I can affect other people to make that happen as well.
So where did you learn this? Oh, I got a little bit of feedback again.
I think you have to pause. When I finish, there's like a little air in the system. You got to pause for a second, then come in.
Okay, let's try this. See, teach me, baby.
Cool.
So when you take this on, right? And so for the first time, and you were trained, so you believed, you followed your path, and you understood that this was your purpose in life. You didn't just wake up one morning and say, I think I can make a difference. Like you've had this in your soul. We talk about DNA.
Mm-hmm.
DNA is so critical.
Mm-hmm. And DNA, and what I think, and just like DNA, which is a very good topic to use here when we're talking about race and things like that, DNA, we all have maybe these different composition of the DNA, just like genes. Everybody's got this different mix. There are no two individuals, which is amazing. There are no two individuals on this planet that are actually alike. And so we've got this different DNA. And so I think understanding that, yeah, our DNA is different and mine has a particular purpose. And I need to find out what that is. And when I find out what that is, I can then begin to use that for the good. And everybody benefits when I use my DNA. One of the things I think that happens in our society is too many people, they look at other people and they wish that they were those people. Mm-hmm. And they don't realize the value that they have in what they got. And I think that's a very important point when we start going forward and trying to get everyone to become part of this machine. Everybody brings their thing. And I always use one of the interviews I did in Arkansas, I talked about the Avengers. And I said, the Hulk is not Captain America, and Captain America is not, or the other, Spider-Man. They all have these different abilities, but when they come together, then they create the team. And I think that's what we're trying to do, and realizing in our country, we all have these different things, but when we bring them together, we're great. We're the Avengers.
I love that. Sorry, not long enough.
Okay.
I get like, ooh, so excited. So here's the thing, right? We can talk about politics. We can talk about what side you're on, how you think, Democrat, Republican, independent. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. And I want people to understand if this is not a political agenda thing. This is not what flag do you carry, right? We can come from anywhere in the world. This is about unity of spirit and believing that we can make a difference in the world. And so once we receive that power, and if we've grown up or we've been influenced by people that have taken that away from us, or we've allowed that to happen, right? Because it's not, this is a choice, right? You can give anything. The poorest person in the world can give their heart, can give their time to someone else to make an impact in the next generation. And so for many people, right, it's this belief that, again, I can't do it. And so when you say, here's this campaign, here's this organization, Erase Race, and the definition of this is to step forward, for us to step forward. And that application that you're going to take us through, Carlin, that's
Okay.
going to be amazing.
Yes. Oh, it's because the realization that we all have so much to give. And that's the thing. We think that some people are quote unquote impoverished and they have nothing to give. And that is just not true. We all have so, because when you think of the thing that is most valuable that I've been talking about, and that is relationships, and it's not the stuff that I have, it's who I am. And who I am is what I have to offer. And that is of the most value. And when we come together there, all those other things, your political affiliation, your favorite football team, your favorite whatever, all these things, they are so minimized because what's more important is who you are and the value that I place in you. And that's what we're trying to do with our unity movement.
I love it. Welcome.
Okay. Maybe it just has to change and get your flow in there. So it's going to happen the first time, and then after that, you'll be good.
So you're in San Jose today, but from Texas. Now, I just subconsciously, people know that I collect these cups, but our connection, I didn't know you. I didn't know what your campaign was about until I went to an event, right? And so when I said, I need to have you, I want to have you on my podcast in 2020 because it's all about the vision for 2020 and what you're doing and where you're going. But I felt it was so important right now during the holidays when we're talking about thankfulness and we're talking about gratefulness and
Mm-hmm.
what can we do, right, to give? What's that one thing? What's that
Yes.
one action that you
Right.
would like for all of us to do?
Well, right now we're in the middle of our capital campaign because this is what funds us, which has been amazing. Because when I started this, and you can look at my big vehicle that I've got wrapped and everything, and I simply went to my friends and I said, "Friends, here's what I'm trying to do." And so I'm really amazed that this relationship thing really does work when you build relationships because all the people that I connect with and make relationships with, they're so yes, I want to be a part of this. And so right now we're in the middle of our capital campaign, which runs through December, and the thing is, we're a 501c4. And so the benefit of that is that we are unregulated in the things that we say and the things that we can do, which so we're not like 501c3. The bad thing is it's not tax deductible. So we said, well, let's just get all of our friends to give between $1 and $100. And so we're in our capital campaign. And so on our website, eraseraces.com, then you can go out there and you can see that we've got our capital campaign happening. And we're asking people from now to December to give between $1 and $100. And that's it. And and that's what we're doing. What we're doing is we're investing deeply, not just wide, but deep as well. And so we want to be in a relationship with everyone that wants to be a part of this because it's going to be important as we go across the country for them to engage and actually communicate with us and just begin building relationships. So what we thought was going to be a program of a lot of events and activities, and that will still happen, but it's so much deeper. We're going to engage and communicate with people, kind of like we did there in Indianapolis. And I love that event. And I just wish it could have gone on for hours longer because it was really good and engaging. And that's what we want to do.
Mhm. I think part of it is preparation, right? Planning and being able to get your word out and share the message. Because when you come back to Indianapolis, like what a campaign that can be, right? And so for
Right.
every single city, when people go to your website, I know you've got the Erase Race Facebook page, you've got the group, you are the executive director. You are pushing this to the limits to say, what is it? What, you may not know some of the things that you're going to create or connect to yet
Oh,
because
yes.
it's
That's true.
about people coming to you saying, "Well, what
Yes.
about this? How can we communicate this message in my community?" So, I really wanted to help you at this stage to say, "Look, every single person that sees this, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on YouTube, reach out and get involved in this campaign because we can change the world. It is
Yes.
about our belief. If you need to change your belief, you know, get on it.
Yes. Yes.
This
Yes.
is the
You're right.
time because having that and being able to give that to your legacy, right? The generation of people that if you look at your family and you say, "Well, I've never felt like I could do anything." important. I've always felt like I had something within me that could do something greater, but I've never been surrounded by the right people. I've never been given the opportunity. Like you're waiting for the bus to come. Here's your bus.
This is it. This is it.
Get
It
on the
definitely is.
bus.
Get on the bus. That might be a new slogan we'll create. Get on the bus.
Get on the
Get on
bus.
the bus.
And know that you can have that power to give back and what you can do through this. I think the biggest thing in transformation, as a leadership coach and as someone that has always been able to just come forward and say, this is what I believe and stand up for that. This isn't hard, right? This is something that you can do. Your friends don't have to do it with you. Your family doesn't have to do it with you. This is individual, right? This is a human thing
Yes.
within your
Yes.
soul. So
Hmm.
don't worry about the influences. Maybe you can help form a new group of people in your community that can really change the face of what that looks like. And so dream big, right? That
Yes.
that's how I feel your connection, Carlin, is giving people that power back to say,
Hmm.
let's go, let's do this, let's connect our communities.
Yes. Yes. And we're so empowered by each other. And I think that's what we're going to realize, that we're so empowered by each other. When we really do spend that time communicating and find out that, wow, we are actually together, and together we're strong. We really are. So
Together we are strong.
we're strong.
And a secret that I told people that I wasn't going to share until now, but you shared something with me in Indianapolis that's going to happen in March of 2020. How did you make that decision? And tell us what that is.
But you JMT?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, yeah, my well, yes, it's that value. It's that value thing. And ever since I've been listening, and because many years I've been in both in the Marine Corps and when I was a high school teacher, this exposure to books and writings of John Maxwell. And one of the things that he always emphasized so much was this value, adding value to. And as a high school teacher, as a Marine Corps officer, that was one of the things that I always kind of made part of what I did. Now, I didn't always think that it came from John Maxwell, but I realized through all these things, both his books and some of his lectures and other events that I'd been to, that was infused in a lot of the leadership training. So my wife and I were like, let's do this. Let's become John Maxwell team members. And when I saw your jacket there, and I said, hey, I'm a John Maxwell team member. I'm joining. And so ever since that day, I've called you teammate. And so we build that bond. And so we're together. And that's what I mean about what we're doing with the Erase Races is like, there's so many things that we have in common with other people that we pass by every day and we don't realize. Now you had on the jacket, and so I was able to connect with the John Maxwell, but there was something, the fact that we were in that room, we connected before then, and we realized we had deeper connections. And so as we go forward, we'll continue to realize we're much deeper connected than we even thought. So we've got to do that in all ways. And so we're really excited about that, becoming certified John Maxwell team members, and that's going to be fun.
It is going to it is going to be fun because if we think about when I joined a couple of years ago, there were 16,000 members. Now I think that it's pushing 30,000. It's such a movement. And I talk about these movements. My girlfriend just launched her tin can moments. And it's about her belief, right? What she did to infuse great things every day to make people feel great about herself, but but bring those memories back, right? And for you, it's how do we create this from ground roots, from the grassroots level, to say I can make a difference,
Right.
and what is around me or what I've been influenced by or what I've been told may be different today, right? And so that's I think the biggest fallacy that people have is going back and saying, well, history repeats itself, right? History doesn't have to repeat itself. It
Doesn't
can
have to.
teach us that believing in your own values, your own sense of purpose, being educated enough to step in and say, "Wow, I can help others learn this process," and we can really build a community that looks completely different than it's ever looked. So that's what inspires me about you, Carlin. I love you. I cannot wait to help you on this campaign. And so anybody that's listening today, $1, $2, $50, $100 before December 31st would be
Yes.
awesome.
Hmm. Be part of the team. I mean, like Melanie was saying, get on the bus. I mean, really, get on the bus, because the thing is, and that's the thing. I don't do the high pressure pitch on giving. I was like, because whoever decides to give and get on the bus, we're going to make it happen. And it's really a great opportunity for people to get on the bus, because I think because while we are investing in the change that we can make in our society, that investment comes with rewards for us. We grow deeper. I mean, because really, as I started this, and as I traveled around the country, and I told my wife, I said, I could really just stop right now and write a book about the relationships that I've developed. I mean, really, I could stop right now. But when you realize what is happening, you want to continue, because this is so great. And while you're investing in other people and the connections we can make, you're getting better. You really are. I mean, I feel so much better about who I am. And that wasn't the goal. The goal was to change America. But now I realize I'm changing myself as well. And that's because of the people that I'm seeing and the relationships I'm developing. It's just amazing. I said, maybe what I should do with my American Unity movement now is put everybody on a bus and have them travel the country like I'm doing. That's what really needs to happen, because then everybody would see what I'm talking about, and they would change their view about what they think about other people. They would go, wow, but I met such great people. And so it's just amazing.
It's the fear. A lot of people have this fear, right? It doesn't look normal, or I'm not sure what that's going to look like if I step into it, or give my time,
Right.
or give resources, because
Right.
I don't have, you don't understand. I've got 5 kids. I've got to put dinner on the table.
Yeah.
I don't have enough money to give you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so
Right.
I just want to encourage people, like, it doesn't matter. None of that matters.
It doesn't.
Even if you don't travel outside of your own city, understanding that we all have the same values,
Mm-hmm.
right? And deep inside, and that's what you're trying to say, is you don't have to get on a plane and go to New York and California and Texas and Canada, whatever. You can do this, and you can infuse your own community. And that's what we need to have this campaign across the nation, to say, if we all just step in and take that leadership role. Because when we start to add value to ourselves in a different way, it adds value to everyone around us. And it, like you said, it changes our perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And as you go through certification, you will learn John's biggest lesson, I think, that I took away, is when you start to do something that you believe in 1 year, you will have to turn around and reintroduce yourself to yourself, because of the change and the experiences that you see, and your perspective changes. So then you have more energy, more momentum to do the things that you're passionate about. So, Carlen, I can't wait to be on this campaign with you and see what happens in a year.
I want to thank you so much for having me. This has really been great. Like I said, when I saw your jacket, when I saw you there, and your passion for what you do is just amazing. And I was like, man, don't put us in the same room. We'll blow that room up. Two impassioned people with this fire for life and fire to make change happen. It's great. So I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity today to be on your show. And I look forward to one day being in the jet stream rolling.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's coming. We're gonna take the Airstream and your bus together into a community. We're gonna do.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be fun, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That would make it happen. Yeah.
We will totally make that happen. So
yes, that'll be cool.
So I want to thank you for joining us. I know this was quick, but I really wanted to get your name out there. I wanted people to understand what your campaign is about. There's going to be so much more coming, and people are going to see me posting in the Everyday Leaders group and everywhere, because it's important. Let's raise our values. Let's see the vision of 2020. It's coming. It's a new decade.
Yes.
We can make this decade look completely different, right?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's
always
do it.
Miss Ache, there's no pain. That's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlen. Have a great weekend, and I hope you get all your shopping done for Christmas this weekend.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
I'm always done. I was done last year. My wife does all the shopping.
You're a smart man.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we'll keep updated. And so feel free in the Everyday Leaders group too to post anything that's going on, what your campaign is, if you're coming into the cities that we can connect to you with. And so I really want to support your movement.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Carlen. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.